Amazon employees are protesting in front of Jeff Bezos' house on Cyber Monday because they say that Amazon is I've got to read this so that I don't mess it up, a cult-like sweatshop run by robots. Like, wow.
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google,
eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here and you like what you see, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button, ring that bell notification. We upload nearly on a daily basis and we talk about a ton of app-related and entrepreneurship topics, and you will definitely want to be notified when videos go up. So let's talk about Amazon, because today, as I'm recording this, it's Cyber Monday. Tomorrow, but today, as you watch this, it will be Tuesday. It will be the day after. We don't know what Amazon's sales are going to look like. Amazon has typically dominated this, for lack of a better word, shopping holiday. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it shopping holiday. With their deals that if you're a Prime member you can only get, and you know they just sell their stuff really cheap. I am proud to say that I have not bought something from Amazon on a Cyber Monday in 10 years. More than 10 years, actually. So I'm not contributing that. But every single year, despite more and more reports that Amazon is basically a terrible company to work for, what they do, the economy is really bad. But we're starting to see more of more of an effort, a better coordinated effort, I should say, to start bringing Amazon's problems to light. And a couple things happened yesterday or today, depending, for you guys yesterday, that are kind of interesting. First of all, there were an ex-employee came out and gave an exclusive to the New York Post and had some very unkind things to say about it. This is her, by the way. So, Maureen Donnelly took a job with Amazon when the retail Goliath opened a fulfillment center on Staten Island in September 2018. The 46-year-old Staten Islander quit after just 1 month. Last week, more than 100 workers and their supporters gathered outside the same 855,000 square foot packing plant to protect working conditions and spotlight newly released data showing the rate of worker injury there was 3 times higher than the national average for similar warehouse work. By the way, I shared a video, we did a story about this already actually, that Amazon injuries were way above the OSHA average, way above it. And Amazon's response, which I did not record at the time because I didn't know what the response was actually really stupid. They were like, oh, the only reason it's that high is because we report every little incident regardless how minor it is. No, you don't. You don't. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Disneyland's Bob Iger, or whoever was representing Disneyland. I'm going like, hey, we have a success with Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Look at how short the lines are. That is efficient planning. It's like, no, that's no one showing up. Your lines are short because no one's there. The reason so many people are getting injured and your OSHA report is above the average is because a lot of workers are being hurt. So Amazon tried to put a positive spin on it, and boom. Will not work. I see through the BS. Well, a lot of people do, but well, they're starting to anyway. So let's continue this. So this is an editorial, and I'm going to cherry pick little bits of it, but this is a very unflattering portrayal of Amazon, and it could not have come at a better time. So, I'm not afraid of hard work. I've been a waitress, a newsroom clerk, an EMT, and spent summers on a dairy farm in Ireland. At every job I've ever had, there was a sense it was a team effort. But when I walked into that Amazon warehouse, there wasn't a team anything. It was just do your job. I soon learned that the only difference between an Amazon warehouse and a third world sweatshop were the robots. At Amazon, you were surrounded by bots, and they were treated better than the humans. Well, yeah, because robots are expensive, and you don't want to replace a robot. I mean, you can replace a worker. If the worker breaks, if you break your worker at Amazon, like you work them so that they have bad back problems and they have vision impairments and everything, hey, you know what? Throw it away, get a new human. Those robots cost a lot of money. That's why the robots are treated well. I promise you. So, in the beginning, I was pumped. After passing an online test that included organizing boxes on the back of a truck, I went to orientation at the Hilton Garden Inn with 50 or 60 others, and across the board mix of people from Staten Island, Brooklyn, and New Jersey. A very enthusiastic woman from the South in t-shirt and jeans, that's the uniform, which, that makes sense, bragged that Amazon was the best company beyond huge. She reeled off in all the perks. Stock shares. No, they discontinued the stock shares. You don't have that perk anymore if you're a warehouse. Granted, this was September 2018, so yeah, that was probably before they changed that, but you know. Employee discounts, full benefits, 4-day work weeks with not a ton of mandatory OT. I was sold and the pay was awesome, $16 and change an hour. We were drug tested. I get it. They had little packets. You had to swab your mouth. They took our picture and we filled our cards where you gave your shift preference. You were offered roughly 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week. I wanted nights because I worked as a bar manager. I ended up with 5 p.m. to 4:45 a.m. shifts, Sunday through Wednesday. We did not get paid for lunch, which was a half hour. That's common, by the way, folks. The Staten Island Fulfillment Center was an antiseptic 4-story warehouse known as JFK 8. They named the buildings after the closest airport in the state to the location. They told us it was big enough to fit 18 football fields inside. I would soon learn that the sheer size of the place is a big problem for workers. And it's interesting. JFK 8. We were just talking about this warehouse. We were just talking about this is the warehouse that has the higher than national average worker injuries. Same place. So, anyway, let's look at a couple of these pictures. So, they have colored lights. These are mailing labels, how they're created. Here's a book being scanned. And, yep, there's the boxes on the way. I mean, look, I will say, from like, you know, just standing outside looking at this inn, like, this is all very impressive. It is. It's just a shame what happens next. So, on the first day, about 100 of us newbies gathered in a conference room, and a bunch of managers got up to talk. They were all the same. They all drank the Kool-Aid. They all said this is the best place to work. Looking back, it was cult-like. They went over the different jobs. If you got something you didn't like, they'd give you something else. They assigned me as a stower. I stocked shelves called racks, because that's the thing. Every single company has to have their own name for something, even when there's like a common term for it. I remember when I worked at Fry's, you know, they said, most places have a SKU number. Yeah, it's a universal number. That's why it's called a SKU, or an ISBN number, one of those two. And they said, we have a PLU. Well, aren't you special? You just made it really difficult for people to price check your items online. Get out of here. Anyway, squat, square orange robots. They looked like an ugly cousin from Roomba. Carried 8-foot-tall yellow racks with dozens of compartments. The bots would whiz around to the stowers and stop. Somebody called a water spider would bring me boxes of items to stow. I would lift the items out of the box, scan them, and put them into a compartment on the rack. When the rack was full, I pressed a button, and the robot would zip away with the rack, and another robot would arrive with an empty rack for me to fill. When I showed up for my shift, I'd walk in the main entrance and scan a security badge to get through a revolving door. The locker room was to the left. You had to put any personal items in the locker. No headphones. I think this was a safety issue. Absolutely no cell phones on the floor. That is a safety issue. They didn't want anybody taking pictures or giving away their secrets. No food, no drinks, except water. Well, they don't want you taking pictures because, you know, then people would see what the conditions are. So anyway, the cell phone rule was a big problem for parents. One single mom in her 30s with a 5-year-old daughter didn't have an emergency number she could give to her babysitting parent or her kid's school, which Amazon does not care about that, by the way. After putting away my personals, I go to the meeting area for 10 minutes of group calisthenics exercises. I probably pronounced that wrong. I felt like I was in the army. Then it was to my station to start stowing. I'd stare at what awaited me. An endless line of yellow racks, 100 stowers lined up 15 feet apart. It reminded me of the ending of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We were told to bend the knees and not at the waist, but it felt unnatural. My typical work outfit with a Metallica t-shirt and jeans. The managers recommended Skechers sneakers. I started wearing Timberlands, but switched to Skechers after 2 or 3 days because my feet were killing me. The managers were always asking, where's your water bottle? And reminding me to stay hydrated. Well, yeah, in all fairness, if you do a warehouse job, you should have water. I think they were worried about people passing out and falling off the line. Yeah, that's what it was. But filling up the water all day also meant you had to, well, you know, relieve yourself. And too many bathroom breaks can get the bosses all hot and bothered. You actually had to inform your manager you were leaving to go to the bathroom. I hadn't done that since kindergarten. I used to try and hold it until a break. We got two 50-minute breaks sandwiched between 30 minutes for lunch. One time I couldn't hold it in anymore and left 5 minutes early, so they cut 5 minutes off one of my other breaks. I was like, seriously? Yeah, seriously, because, As for my 30-minute lunch, it took me 15 minutes just to walk to the lunchroom. I had just enough time to shove half a peanut butter sandwich in my mouth, take a couple of gulps of soda, not a healthy, Anyway, I won't comment on that. Have a cigarette and then start the 18 football field trek back. There were no chairs at your workspace. The only place to sit was in the bathroom, which was a 7-minute walk from my third floor station, and the impossibility for lunch room. So, yeah, we're not going to go too much more, but it's like it normally felt like it was 150 degrees. People asked if they could get fans, but the answer was always no. The job was mind-numbing. In one story of The Verge, Amazon lawyers confirmed that automated system tracks every second of a worker's day. When too much time has been spent off task, warnings are auto-generated. If a worker receives 6 warnings within a 12-month period, the employee receives an automatically generated termination notice. You gotta love how efficient they are at Amazon. So what she said was, the job crushed my spirit and curled my body. I would spend nearly 12 hours a day with no one to talk to for more than 5 minutes. I wasn't sleeping well. I was getting cranky with my family. My knees were killing me. My back and shoulders constantly hurt. My left hip throbbed, and every shift I'd ice my swollen ankles, which were triple the normal size. And this is what was the straw for her. Someone got her on a ladder. They never explained what happened, but the rookies were retained on ladders. Then they told me that with the holidays coming, I would have to work more mandatory overtime. That was the last straw. Amazon tries to project this image of being such a blessed place to work. It was absolutely the worst job I ever had in my life. In the end, I didn't get stock. I was forced to work more hours than I wanted. The employee discount was only on products made by Amazon, which basically means Kindles and stuff, You're not going to buy the Frozen 2 soundtrack and get a discount on that. It felt like a bait and switch. I had to laugh at that commercial where they show how great it is to work at Amazon. I want to stab that one woman who says, "We sweat, we bust our butt. If I didn't enjoy what I was doing, I wouldn't be here." In the eyes, no one I knew at Amazon was remotely that happy. So, yeah, this is this is so crazy. So, and what she really wanted to say was F Jeff Bezos. So, these stories are becoming more and more common. Yeah, a lot of them are revolving around the JFK thing. Now, here's the positive thing, because for last year, when I first started talking about Amazon stories, I got a lot of blowback. Seriously, you don't know how much blowback I got. When I did my first Amazon video, the comments were universally negative. The thumbs down, off the chart. I think that was one of the first times that I posted a video where I got more thumbs down than thumbs up. I'm actually kind of fairly blessed in that regard. Most of the time, at worst, most of the time my videos are 50-50. But not that one. How dare you go after Amazon, people said. How dare you? They're convenient. They're great. We love shopping for them. And no, they suck. They suck on so many levels. However, I am not the only person who knows that now. There is getting more and more people who are acknowledging that this company is garbage. And they are actually taking it to the streets. In fact, they are taking it right outside Jeff Bezos' $80 million NYC penthouse to call attention to working conditions at Amazon's warehouses. Now, I will say this, just that you know where I stand on this type of protesting. I have very mixed feelings about going to people's houses. I really do. Even if it's an $80 million penthouse, I think there's a certain line you do not cross. I had this opinion with the Uber strikes in front of the investors of the Uber headquarters. I feel the same way about Amazon. Their personal life is their personal life is their personal life. You're not going to make your point by going up to that particular house and complaining. You're just not. So I think do it at an official Amazon location. And by the way, that's where people are going to see you anyway. But they're here. They're in front of his penthouse. So let's see how this went down. So, protestings are gathering outside of Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos' $80 million New York City penthouse on Monday to speak out against warehouse working conditions, as well as what the organizers feel is Amazon's detrimental impact on the environment and local communities. Because keep in mind, whenever you have something shipped on Amazon, they have all of this cardboard. Like, I think Amazon ships enough cardboard box to fill the Empire State Building, some crazy thing like 12 times a day. It's insane. And of course, the local communities, how many shops do you know that went out of business? I had a comic book shop nearby, and because people can buy their comics on Amazon and get them digitally on the Comixology app as well, they went out of business. So, I don't know. So protesters rallied at Amazon's Stanton Alley warehouse last week, and on Monday, protesters marched about half a mile through Midtown Manhattan to Bezos' Fifth Avenue penthouse in snowy weather. It's not clear how many Amazon employees are participating in the protest. The protest coincides with Cyber Monday, one of the biggest sales day of the year for the massive online retailer. Quote, the march will shine a light on the fact that every click on Amazon translates to more workers getting hurt on the job and more pollution in our local communities. Alliance for a Greater New York, one of the groups organizing the protest, said in a statement. The millions of clicks Amazon sees on Cyber Monday translates to more climate emissions and more surveillance power at the disposal of ICE and local police departments. I'm not commenting on that because, frankly, whether you agree with that or not, that's a difference of opinion. Amazon did not immediately respond. So, yeah, by the way, this is his penthouse. It's way up there. Way up there. So this is another reason why I don't think you should bother going to his house. You literally look like ants to him, if he is even there. He's mostly in Seattle, Washington, which is where Amazon is headquartered. You really want to make a difference, like go to Amazon headquarters and protest. So Bezos purchased his Manhattan penthouse and 2 neighboring apartments. Yeah, he probably bought the neighboring apartments so he wouldn't have neighbors, like, nice guy. The full property spans 12,000 square feet and 12 bedrooms. The penthouse occupies the top 3 floors of a 24-story building and is nicknamed the Crown. Earlier this year, Business Insider spoke with 30 current and former Amazon employees who called their working conditions brutal and described the physical and emotional toll that came with working in Amazon's warehouses. Yes, again, you can look at this woman's story. She says it very clearly. So, Amazon continues to receive criticism for its treatment of warehouse and delivery employees, the company's state and federal tax breaks, and the environmental impact of running its global retail and web service businesses. So, yeah, again, I have very mixed feelings about this being done at his house. I will always be very upfront about that. I don't think you should protest at people's houses. However, people like this need to be treated better. Now, granted, $16 and some change an hour is nice. I'm not going to say it's not. That's actually pretty good for a lot of people. Unfortunately, it comes usually with a lifetime of medical issues that money will never pay back for. And by the way, Amazon will not take care of you after the fact either. I mean, I think if you worked at McDonald's for 10 years and you worked at Amazon for 2 years, you would be better off after you got a McDonald's, because guess what? You're not going to have the back problems. People can work fast food and Walmart for years and be fine. Amazon, 2 years seems to be the average people can stick it out before they cannot work anymore, because it just puts too much of a toll on their body. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Cyber Monday sales were. I might do a follow-up video on that. I don't know yet. By the way, this was not bought on Amazon, just to let everyone know. This was bought at Six Flags. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave it right now. What do all of you folks think? I would love to know whether you think this is going to work, whether you agree with the protest. Did you buy anything on Cyber Monday at Amazon? I'm just kind of curious. I'd like to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my video, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me, check out my other YouTube channels, Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to speak to me or other fellow people who hate Amazon, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.